This is not going to be an easy one. There's been a lot of chaos with the 4-6 punch. And unfortunately, I got to give Rich the hard question.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the member's best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
What is going on, everybody? So today I have Richard Hooker, Principal Officer of 623 in Philadelphia, and I have Greg Kerwood out of Local 25 in Boston, and we're going to go over peak season. We're getting to that time of the year again where things get chaotic. There's a lot of language in the contract that has specific dates in it. Some of this language in the contract has actually changed. So we're going to be covering a lot of this stuff, so you come in prepared on how to handle things and what to do. So I'm going to throw it to Greg first. We're going to be talking about the dates. Now, what are the dates in the new language?
Well, I'm just going to run through the dates that are important in the next couple of months. Just to be clear, there's other stuff involving seasonal drivers, use of helpers, things like that are going to be in your supplement. They're not national, and so what those dates may be is very much going to depend on your supplement. You should talk to your steward or your business agent if you have questions about those. But nationally, the first important date is November 1st. After November 1st, there are no more 8-hour requests. And under the new language, the part-timers can begin to work as PVDs. Folks that signed up, part-timers that signed up to work as PVDs during peak, that can start on November 1st. November 15th, 9-5 language now stops. And then if the company needs additional PVDs, again, under new language, they will now be able to have PVDs hired off the street on November 15th. On December 26th, day after Christmas, the use of those off the street PVDs ends. They are limited to November 15th to 12/26 by the new language. So they have to stop working. January 1st, the 8-hour requests come back. January 5th, we turn in our 9-5 list for the upcoming year. And then January 15th, the new 9-5 language starts again, is in effect. The only other things to mention is that the part-timers who are working as PVDs, they can do that until the end of peak as it's defined in your supplement. So whatever your supplement says is the end of the peak period, that's when the part-timers have to stop working as PVDs. And then just a side note, in case anybody missed it, we have language now protecting RPCDs who don't want their overtime taken away by PVDs during peak season. In order to use that language, if you are an RPCD, you had to get off of the 9-5 list by September 1st. So if you got off the 9-5 list before September 1st and you want to keep your overtime during peak, the company can no longer send a PVD to take your work off of you. You have a right to keep your work. So those are the important dates. Again, some of this stuff depends on your supplement. So if you have questions about it, you should definitely read your supplement and talk to your steward and your business agent.
All right, a lot of great information there. Appreciate you, Greg. And there's a lot of dates, and we'll try to put those dates down below so everybody knows what they're walking into. Now, this is not going to be an easy one. There's been a lot of chaos with the 4-6 punch. And unfortunately, I got to give Rich the hard question with 4-6 punch. People ask this all the time right now. When it comes to peak season, can the companies still force you to come on?
The biggest thing is whatever is going on in your local, make sure you reach out to your local leadership, shop steward, and an BA to find out if the meeting had taken place between the company and your local leadership. There was a meeting that is supposed to take place. So either side could bring up any type of questions or concerns about the 6-day work week. If that meeting has not happened, then it's get ready for a very, very bumpy ride. If the company still tries to force people on these six punches during peak, what's going to have to happen is your local leadership is going to have to follow the language in the contract, file the grievance, and push it up to the national and follow the grievance procedure. Because what we're hearing is that this six punch stuff is still a problem. The company still wants to do what they want to do. They're not meeting with the local unions. We haven't had our meeting here at 623 as of yet. Then, of course, they're going to try to say, well, 60 days, we'll try to figure it out. If not, then we can force people on the six punch. So what I would do, please, if you're a package car driver, get with your local leadership, shop steward on up to the principal officer, find out, has there been a meeting? If not, ask when the meeting is going to be scheduled. And then stay on top of this situation, because we understand that this was a very big issue in the negotiations. This was really a rallying cry. So hopefully the international, along with the locals around this country, can come together and try to curb what UPS is trying to do about this six punch issue.
And one thing I forgot to mention is that the 4-6 punch language is exclusive to package car drivers. But with that being said, we're going to get into the part-timers. You're not left out, and I appreciate all the part-timers that watch this. So there's a lot of new language where the part-timers are used before the officer street hires, and I want to throw it to you, Greg. As far as part-timers, what do part-timers have to expect when they hit peak season now?
Well, I would say this peak season, I think the company's making it very clear that they want to hire as few people as possible. So they are pushing for part-timers to do extra work, sign up for double shifts, work as helpers, work as PVDs, to try to minimize the level of hiring and their payroll costs for the last quarter. If you are a helper inside worker, and you want that extra work, hopefully there's some sign-up sheet of some kind in your building. If not, I would talk to your steward and find out what the story is. But as we discussed, you have the option now to work as a PVD if you choose. The company has to pay insurance for your vehicle. They have to pay you mileage, the federally mandated mileage rate for your miles, and you have a guarantee of 8 hours for the day if you work as a PVD. There's a lot of helper language and stuff that changed. I know ours changed in New England. The pay, I think, almost doubled for helpers. So you need to check with your supplement, check with your steward and your business agent to find out how the helper language has changed in your supplement and what it means for you.
I'm going to throw it to you, Rich. You come from the part-time world. You've been through peak seasons multiple times already. So what are some tips and tricks that people can bring home that are new to this?
Well, I think the main thing is to make sure that you get plenty of rest. Don't try to rush and overwork. You know what I mean? And also, don't let the company try to rush you into an unsafe, unsecure situation. They're going to try their best to move because they're trying to get the stuff out. Take your time, be safe. Don't be in a hurry, because that's when you get hurt. And we want you to be healthy going into the holiday season. We want you to be able to open up those gifts and celebrate, that Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. We want to make sure that you can enjoy the extra earnings that you have worked hard for. So pace yourself. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Take your time. Get plenty of rest. Don't try to overwork yourself. I know the money looks good on your check, but what is the money if you can't enjoy it? So just be cool, calm, and collective, and also file grievances for supervisors working. That's your money. right? They like to get in. Oh, it's peak season. We can work. No, you can't. No, you can't. It don't matter what time of year it is. You cannot work. And this is the time of year they try their best to get in there and take your money from your family. Don't let them do it.
And you brought up something that's a good point. As a driver, oftentimes the helpers you get feel enticed to run all the time. And it's your job as a driver to make sure they're safe because a lot of these helpers end up getting hurt. And that just kills me, when you see someone get hurt on the job. And oftentimes they don't really don't even need to run most of the time because if they end up running, they're going to be waiting on you because you're getting the next package ready in the back or whatever. So, listen, just, like Rich said, just take your time. It's going to be fine. All right. I will say this, though. It's definitely calmed down quite as far as recently. I'm not a fan of the PVDs in general, but it's, we used to work a lot of 14-hour days, rolling volume, and everything else. And a lot of those days are behind us, at least as of right now. If you have a peak season story you want to share, put it down below in the comments. And if you're watching this outside of YouTube, the main channel is on YouTube. Look us up, Roswell Hub. And with that being said, if you have not done so already, follow 623 Lives Matter, Facebook, Instagram, all social medias, and the contract group, contract enforcement group on Facebook. Greg Kerwood runs that. All right, so usually we do shout outs, but this time we're going to share a peak season story. I'm going to throw it to you first, Rich. Is there something that kind of sticks out in your mind as far as peak season goes?
Well, it is the biggest thing that sticks out to me around peak season is how is it seems like UPS is friendly. They don't mind you staying and getting all the money, and they want to work with you. And oh man, thank you for showing up. And they talk to you real nice. And I can remember all the times during the months of November, December, they don't mind you getting all the money, and they don't want you to leave. Oh, where are you going? You know, for the 10 months out the year, hey, get you off the clock. Oh man, what are you doing? You're still in time. But during peak season, man, they they turned into somebody different. And I wish they were like that from January to December and not just from November to December. So don't fall for the trap, everybody. They are not who they tell you they are during this time. They're still the most vile and evil company known to man. They the Grinches all year long. You know what I mean? So then they want to turn to Santa Claus at the end of the year. So be mindful of that. They will do whatever they can. They do it every year. So just be careful and be mindful of what they try to do.
All right, Greg. What about you? You got some stories to share about peak season?
I could probably tell a million stories, but Rich said something super important, and I want to repeat it again. The rule book does not go out the window because it's peak, and our members have a tendency to get in that mentality. Well, I don't know if it's because it's colder or because it's darker earlier or because they want to get home to their families or whatever the reason is. But don't take shortcuts because it's busy. Don't let yourself be convinced you have to work faster just because they put more work on your truck, or because you got a helper, suddenly you have an S on your chest and you're wearing a cape. It doesn't work that way. The book is the same. The rules are the same. Supervisors working is the same. Your obligation is the same. Fair day's work for a fair day's pay. You show up, you do your job safely to the best of your ability, and you go home. You follow the methods. It doesn't go out the window. We don't suddenly start tossing packages from the sidewalk and say, oh, well, it's peak. And the company will tell you that it's a whole different ballgame because it's peak, but it isn't. It isn't. And, I've had helpers personally get hurt. That's a great point. And the same thing, part-timers, you have to not get caught up in the rush of it all. and stay focused on doing your job and doing it safely and doing it the same way you do it every other time of the year, and continue to hold the company accountable. Supervisors working grievances are up to quadruple time. If you want an extra Christmas bonus, hold them accountable, because we all know they're going to be working, and they're going to be working more than any other time of the year, and they're going to try to pretend that it's perfectly normal. Don't fall for it. The rules are the same. The game is the same. Protect yourself, protect your coworkers, protect your helpers, and take care of one another and do what you're supposed to do.
And so I gotta let everybody know this, because the Roswell drivers, we go out to Universal every year. Everybody's invited to join us. We're doing it next year in 2024 between this October 6th through the 12th. If you want to join us or want to hang with us, you can email me, roswellhub@yahoo.com. And it's kind of like a party thing. It's just for fun. Also, Greg and I will be at the TDU convention this year from November 3rd to the 5th. I'll be there on the weekend. But anyways, love you guys, and I'll see you next time.